Today we're going to try an old fiberglass rod and see how it casts. This is a fiberglass 7-foot rod. There's no line rating and the name is worn off, that my father purchased in 1972 for me at Hudson Mills Sporting Goods for, I believe it was $7 or $8. And it's paired today with Scientific Angler weight forward tropical bonefish taper, and we're going to see if we can do some distance casting. I've measured out 70 feet of line, from not line plus leader but line only, from my standing point where I'm beginning to do the casts. We'll see how it performs. Initially it was very hard to time the haul to get a loop on the back and forward that didn't tail. So I know I have to translate significantly longer before the rotation and haul in order to get a loop that doesn't tail. Let's see if I can manage that here. So we can easily throw 70 feet of line with the leader straightening out at the end with this rod at this point. It's a little bit difficult to get the timing right on the haul. Conditions are pretty perfect today. Let's see if we can get a look at the terminal loop and how it straightens out. You need it's a short rod too. So I don't know if it's the physical properties of the rod besides the length, or if it's just the length, but I have to rotate the rod to a whole 180-degree arc in order to get the straight line path and to not either throw too wide of a loop or a tailing loop. Let's pull off an extra 5 feet of line and see if we can still straighten the line. So now we have a little over 75 feet of line out. That went even a little bit farther. The actual line, not just the leader, hung up in the magnolia tree a couple of feet on the other side and above our marker at 70 feet. So now I've set up my camera about 5 feet behind our marker, our zero point on our tape measure, and I'm going to be standing 70 feet to the other side. I have about 75 feet of line out. This rod is hardly what you would call a cannon. It has 5 guides. It's made of very flexible fiberglass. The cheapest rod in an era of cheap rods, and yet it easily casts 75 feet of line. In fact, there in the last cast, it was cast 70 feet of just line and pulled drag there's not really much excuse for not being able to cast well with inexpensive equipment. As Cassius says to Brutus in Julius Caesar, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in the stars, but in ourselves. Work on better technique."